G'day and welcome back to the Screen of Green, and just a bit of an update on what's been happening now. Some of the videos I posted recently have got a lot of feedbacks and a lot of comments on those videos. The one where I asked what was happening to the hobby, a lot of people have responded saying, yeah, it's greying out, and all over the world it appears as if it's becoming increasingly difficult to get young people interested in the hobby of flying RC models. Yeah, racing drones and FPV have helped a bit, but there's still this massive greying out of clubs, and so people are finding that the only people who go to the flying field on a Sunday are old codgers like me with no hair or grey hair. Young people, nowhere to be seen. There are some exceptions. A few people did say that their clubs are doing very well, but overall the feedback seems to be that the hobby is in a bit of a doldrums. You know, it's possibly dying a bit as the old people basically start moving into the big dirt net part of their lives. So I really would like to come up with some ways to change that. Now, I know there are huge competitions for young people's time these days. You've got computer games, and computer games and other things too. Facebook, all that sort of stuff. You know, in fact, I watched some video. Here's a little bit here. I found this video on YouTube, and it's obviously from a long time ago. And look at all the young faces in this video. Fantastic number of young faces. This is what the hobby used to be like when I was a kid, way back, and we had to carve our models out of solid blocks of granite. This is what the hobby looked like. Young faces everywhere. There are a few old codgers like me who were basically handing on the knowledge and teaching people to fly, but mostly it was young people. And look, not a radio-controlled model to be seen. It was free flight and control line. Those were the things that we built, and they were really interesting and exciting. There was a lot of work went into it. It wasn't like today. And I wonder if it's because there just isn't the need to invest so much time these days. You can go and buy something off Banggood, it arrives 2 weeks later, you go out and fly it. We had to spend weeks, sometimes months, building our models, and then we'd take great care of them, because if you crashed it, there's, sometimes they were irreparable because it was balsa wood and tissue and dope. It wasn't robust and strong like EPO and EPP, so we had to be very careful. It was a great time. Of course, old people, when they look back, rose-tinted glasses. It was also a crap time because everything was so expensive, and but hey, it was the time we went through, and it was a totally different period of the hobby's evolution. But I'd still like to come up with ways of getting young people involved. Now, some people mentioned Flight Test, and yeah, they do a fantastic job of getting young people involved. They have those Flight Fests, and you see all those young faces again, making models out of foam board and tents. It's brilliant, it's fantastic. We don't have that here in New Zealand, I'm afraid. I did, at one stage, think it would be a great idea for Flight Fest to come out and do a Flight Fest down under, but I think it's just too far to come, and we may have actually missed the critical mark. We may have lost so much inertia in the hobby that there simply wouldn't be the turnout, because people have just forgotten, young people have forgotten about the hobby. They're doing other things. So yeah, think it over, guys, and guysesses, because there were a few women responded. How can we revitalise this hobby? It's essential we do it, otherwise with the regulations, because people again pointed out, yeah, regulations are a killer. People have got models and they've got nowhere to fly them. If you're flying FPV and modern technology, it seems you turn up to a local club flying field and they don't want to know about you. It's only line of sight here, and it's only, nitro models or gas and rubber and, and there's no room for you young people. Get off my lawn, get off my lawn. That's the kind of thing we're seeing, and that becomes very difficult to get young people interested in, because it's all, they don't want to play with old models, they want to play with new models. And then with the drone regulations affecting model flying, that's a totally different thing. A Phantom 4 is not a model aircraft, but regulators are all too stupid to realise that, or they just choose not to. I don't know which it is, but there must be some very, very silly people, very, very low IQ people working in the halls of regulation, because they cannot tell a difference between a GPS-assisted, no skill required Phantom 4 drone and something that someone has made with their own two hands and requires skill, knowledge and understanding to even get off the ground, let alone fly and sustain flight. So yeah, it's tragic. There's no empathy. There's no empathy for the hobby within the halls of power, and that is a huge shame. Now, the other video that got a lot of feedback was the little promo video I did for Model Flying New Zealand. Some people asked, yes, Model Flying New Zealand and I are on very good terms now. We have been for some time, ever since the president him and I didn't get on. It was basically a personality conflict. We didn't get on, so I was public enemy number one. That president moved out, and since then we've had two presidents. They've both been really good. And, they asked me to do a promo video, so I cobbled together some footage I had laying around, and that was the result, and it seems to have gone down reasonably well. I'm going to do some more promotional videos, because I want to get, young people use YouTube, if they see this and they go, wow, that looks like great fun, maybe we can get a few of them on board. And I'm going to follow that up with more build videos, more projects, more simple stuff. Now, everyone's also been asking, where's the sub 250 plane? Well, it's out on the bench. I've been waiting for some stuff to arrive from Banggood. It hasn't arrived yet. So what I'm going to do in the next day or so is put the plans up. I'll do a video and I'll just show you the plans. You don't even need plans. All you need is a ruler and a pen to build this, to mark out the thing, because I've made it so that everything is very, very simple. It's all square or triangle. So there's no need to worry about, getting all curves and things. Just straight edge, pen, bit of foam board, away you go. I've tried to make it very, very efficient in terms of foam board usage. You have to do that because if you want something light, you don't want too much material in it. But what I've just tried to do is make it so that it tessellates really well into a square of foam board. And if you don't know what tessellate means, go and look it up. It's a really good word to have in your vocabulary, tessellate. I might put a link to it in the description, you never know. But anyway, tessellation is important. I've tried to make it so that it tessellates really well, which means if/when someone wants to start making these things, and I could say, oh, it's my intellectual property, you can't do it without paying me money. Well, if you pay me money, that's fine. But if you don't, well, hey, it's more important that we provide a product that the hobby can embrace and build really cheaply and use. So the more available this model is, the better. So anyone who wants to make it into a kit and sell it, go for it. But just please bear in mind that if you're not paying me any money, don't make it too expensive, because I want it to be accessible. So as I say, I'll be putting the plans up very shortly, if not the build video. Because what I wanted to do, I wanted to make sure that the bits that I was going to recommend you purchase actually work as intended. The original's got some old bits. It's got some old multi-star motor from Hobby King. It's got an old multi-star ESC, stuff that's probably not current anymore. And there are newer equivalents which are probably lighter and better. And I wanted to make sure that people could pick stuff that was good. But if you want to get started, I will put the plan up. And if you've built foam board models before, it's easy peasy to build. You can get going, build your own one, put your own servos and ESCs and motors in it and get it in the air and have some fun in the meantime. But if you want to go through the step-by-step, it's going to be a little bit longer. Got to wait for these bits to arrive so I can do that. And also I'm waiting on some more foam board. My goodness, it's just so hard. I guess hard to ship foam board. No one has it in stock locally. So I have to buy it online. And then obviously, how do you ship foam board without the postman nicely folding it into a cube and putting it through your letterbox? That's what they do, I remember the old joke. Whenever you send photos through the post, put photos do not bend. And when you get it, it has a little written message from the postman saying, yes, they do, look, and it's all folded in half. Anyway, enough of that. Now, another video I did some time ago was in fact 2 weeks ago, was the helicopter at Niagara Falls. Remember, I put that up and said the mainstream media will probably have a field day with this. And yes, it's taken them 2 weeks, but they've finally found that video. Gosh, if they watched my channel, they'd be able to scoop the rest of the world, wouldn't they? But no, it took 2 weeks for them to find it, and there's a local story running here in New Zealand. Oh my God. Now, this is one of the worst of our media outlets. They have obviously twigged on this. They may have gone to my YouTube channel because I have sent them some links to things like the video with the birds clearing drones from, the drones clearing the birds from the airfield. I said, hey, this is a good news story. Why don't you write something about this? Man uses drone to reduce risk at airport. No, not interested. No, that's not a bad news story. But what they probably have done is gone through my other videos and said, oh, look, helicopter over Niagara Falls, nearly hits drone, woo. And so they've published that. But they've used it as an excuse, as a reason, as a way of reminding everybody how evil drones are. Look, they've got all this stuff here, near misses at Auckland Airport, near misses with the police helicopter, blah, blah. Bringing all this old stuff up. They don't publish something like, there was a near miss between a drone and a helicopter at Niagara Falls. But despite these incidents, drones have proven to be a very positive device for saving people's lives and delivering medicine. No, they don't want to go into the good stuff, only the bad stuff. The media, it just pisses me off to the nth degree. You're all probably the same. They just will not focus on the positive, they'll only focus on the negative. So that's what they've done. They've trawled my videos, found that story, and decided that, well, we don't want the good news ones. No, we want the bad news ones. Get more clicks on pages and more eyeballs on advertisers. Yeah, it's terrible. But at least these people have got their facts roughly right, even if they're entirely skewed towards the bad. This story, which was published by a US, looks like a TV station or something. This shows you how journalism is a dirty word in the media these days, because they say the problem was that the drone was flown too low. Yeah, that's right. The drone that was above the helicopter in that video, according to the story, it was flown too low. Oh my God. So this is what we're dealing with the media. They're completely incompetent. They have an agenda. How do we deal with this? I have done my best. I spend a lot of my day emailing news media outlets and trying to correct them on their mistakes and trying to point out the positive side of drone use and how it's changing the world for the better. But no, they don't want to know about that. They only want to know about the bad things. And they're still publishing, the drones at Gatwick when there were no drones at Gatwick. Facts. We don't need no facts. We just need sensationalism. So what do you do? Anyway, so I spend a lot of my day frustrated here, angry at the media for their lies and deceptions, and they just don't want to listen to the realities of the situation. What do? Do I start my own news outlet? I did once, actually, just for those who are unaware. Back in 1997, I started an online news service called 7am.com. 7am News, it was called. And I'd just written a book for Prentice Hall about Java. And I used Java to create a little news ticker, which people could put on their own web pages. And before long, that news ticker was on over 250,000 web pages around the world. And by 1999, Nielsen, who were doing net ratings, Nielsen, the ratings people, they were actually doing net ratings of websites, how many visitors they were attracting. And my 7am.com news site was attracting around 3.5 million visitors a day. This is 1999. This is 20 years ago. I was getting 3.5 million visitors a day. My website 7am.com outranked Fox News, CNN, the BBC, and even Playboy.com. That's how popular it was. And so I have a good background in news. I've broken some new ground with news, certainly in the online arena. And if I had the time and the energy, I would start a new news service, and it would be all about non-fake news, presented by real journalists who actually researched what they were writing and presented facts and evidence like I do in the videos I post to this channel. I would extend that, but hey, life's too short. It's getting shorter for me every day. Something unbelievable, but yes, that's true. And I just do not have the time, the energy, or the resources, or the good health to do that, so I'm not going to do it, but I wish somebody would. Oh, it would be so refreshing, wouldn't it, to actually get news you could believe. Never mind. So that's my little update video. Stay tuned. The plans, if not the build video, will be coming up very shortly. And in the meantime, I've been doing a bit of flying that thing, having a ball. That is my funnest plane that I have at the moment. Absolutely the best. I've got EDFs and pulse jets and gases and nitro planes and electrics and EFX races and Tundras but that plane's the plane I'm flying all the time at the moment. It is just so much fun. It's like a mini quad, but better in some ways. Not always, just better in some ways. Loving it. And I've been flying the Blackout a bit more too, the one that I rebuilt on my RC Model Reviews channel. That's flying brilliantly. I'm so impressed with that little Blackout. And so eventually I will break it, because that's what you do when you fly hard. And I'm trying to fly hard. There you go. I've rambled on. I do that sometimes in these videos. Never mind. Thank you for watching. As I say, if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you don't like it, do the same. Be non-conventional. Go out on a limb, give it a thumbs up because you hate it. That'll teach me. And tell everyone else about these videos. As I say, and this is something that's come across. A lot of people have said, Bruce for president, Bruce for representing the model hobby, the hobbyists and regulations, Bruce for regulator. And well, hey, yeah, I can't do those things because no one's going to hire me to make drone regulations, are they? But I would like to think that if I get enough people behind me through this channel, I will be able to present cases to regulators, not just in New Zealand, but around the world, because we live in a global village now with the internet. I would like to be able to present cases to the regulators, reasoned, rational cases backed up by evidence and logic and facts, so they can't dismiss them. And hopefully we'll get some balance and some objectivity back into the regulatory framework that some countries are adopting, because some of them are just going totally overboard. So hopefully I can do that. But to do that, I need the weight of numbers. I need, when these regulators go and have a look at my videos, I want them to see 20,000, 40,000, 50,000 views per video, so they know that I've got all these people backing me. And so if you can rally your friends in the drone community and the model flying community to come and have a look at the videos, because they might learn something and they might think this is crap, and they might give me a thumbs down even though they do like the video, but I don't care. I just need the weight of numbers. I need the weight of numbers to have the credibility to go head to head with all these different regulators and say, I'm representing these people. And this is a big number. Now, in the USA, they have the FPV Freedom Coalition. Great idea. It's a fantastic move. And it's an essential move to bring together FPV flyers and provide a community-based organisation in the USA to represent them to the FAA. Because at the moment, there's only the AMA. And if you read the comments on one of my videos, not a lot of people are happy with the AMA. So it represents the new generation of model flies. That's really important. So if you're in America, go and look at the FPV Freedom Coalition. At the moment, they only have a YouTube channel, but I'll put a link to it in the description of this video. Go and listen to some of their webcasts. They're a bit dry because at the moment they're in the process of going through the technical aspects of setting up an illegal entity that can be recognised. But hopefully they'll get more speed up soon and it'll become more informal and there'll be more engagement with the community rather than just the Discord chats that have been published. So hopefully I'm sure that will happen. But in the meantime, yeah, if you come to me on my videos, the problem we have is that, or the benefit that I have is as follows. To be taken seriously, organisations like the FPV Freedom Coalition have to be responsible, have to be serious, they have to be, sort of have a straight face. If you're dealing with government, you've got to be serious. You can't, no frivolity, no laughing, no joking. It has to be dead serious. Well, you see, people have said, why don't you join the FPV Freedom Coalition? And I'm better to operate outside their umbrella because I can operate without the constraints that are necessary when you're actually officially a community-based organisation. I can produce videos that maybe push the boundaries a little bit, that infuriate people, that get them worked up and, we've got to do something. I can incite ferment. I can ferment dissatisfaction. I can get people racked up and really banging at the doors without being seen as losing credibility because I don't have any to start with. But if the Freedom Coalition did that, they would risk their position as being seen as an objective representative of the community. I can do things they can't do because I'm not operating under an official umbrella. But the things that I can do are essential because we're fighting a media that plays dirty. We're fighting companies that want to control the airspace that are fighting dirty. I need to be able to get out there and expose all that stuff. Now, the FPV Freedom Coalition can't do that because it jeopardises their position as an objective representation body. I can do it. They can't do it. So I'm not going to join the FPV Freedom Coalition, although I recommend you do. I'm going to be standing alone, but I'd like to be standing alone with thousands of people behind me backing me up. That's where you come in. So if you can do that, I would really appreciate it. But a link to these videos from your Facebook account, from your Instagram, from whatever it is that you use as your social media, get the traffic going so I can get the numbers. And then when I knock on CIA's door or when I contact the FAA or Transport Canada or CASA and I can say, look, I think you guys have got it wrong. How about you consider this? And look at all the people behind me when I speak. Then we might get some traction. We've got to do it, otherwise we're going to be regulated out of existence. If not just through the regulation, but financially. Pay to fly, that's the future of the hobby if we don't squash it really quick. Thank you for watching. It's turned into a rant, hasn't it? It's supposed to be an update, but it's a rant, another rant, enough rants. More flying videos, we need more flying videos. So this weekend, hopefully, we'll get a better turnout at the field and I'll get some footage and you can enjoy watching people flying here in the Tokoroa airfield. And thanks for your eyeballs, thanks for your ears. Bye for now.